Welcome to Agoracom's Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007. Today, September 11, 2025, we're cutting through the noise, diving deep into four really critical developments that just hit the wire. These aren't just headlines, they're the kind of updates that, well, they can genuinely reshape the investment landscape for these small cap companies. We'll give you the breaking news, zero in on the key financial or, the drilling results that truly matter, and then we'll unpack what it all means for you, the discerning investor.
That's exactly right. Our mission today is to really cut through all that noise. We want to give you the most compelling nuggets from each release and hopefully connect the dots, highlight that crucial information that should, well, frankly, compel you to dig a little deeper yourself. Think of this as your essential briefing, delivered with clarity, with insight, really to help you stay ahead.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, a pretty significant move in the clean energy space. HPQ Silicon Inc., that's TSX Venture HPQ and OTCQB. HPQ FF, they've been awarded some substantial federal funding.
This just came out today, September 11th, and it really positions HPQ as maybe a front runner here in advanced materials.
Yeah, what's fascinating really is the validation this funding brings and the acceleration. We're talking up to $3 million in federal funding. This is from Natural Resources Canada, part of their energy innovation program. And it's not just, a simple grant. It's a direct catalyst. It's meant for HPQ to build its first 50-ton per year continuous production facility.
Okay, 50 tons a year. So what kind of materials are we talking about exactly? Right, this plant is specifically designed to manufacture silicon-based material for lithium-ion battery anodes. And they're targeting commercial-grade cells. You see those everywhere. This is critical because silicon potentially can store up to 10 times more lithium ions than the traditional graphite anodes we use now.
Wow, 10 times. That's a huge potential leap. So, okay, let's unpack that a bit more. The company talks about this continuous production system being a game changer. Scalability, cost efficiency. They say it eliminates purification steps, aligns with net zero goals. What stood out to me was the CEO's quote. Bernard Tourion, president and CEO of HPQ Silicon, said, "This strategic investment is a strong endorsement of our technology and the commercial potential. We are positioned to accelerate our path to commercialization and our vertical integration. Key to be competitive, drive value, establish HPQ as a Canadian leader." Pretty confident statement. And the government seems to agree. Minister Tim Hodgson mentions strengthening Canada's ability to manufacture battery components.
It does raise that important question, though. What's the actual tangible impact here? Well, it's a clear move from lab-scale prototypes to, full commercial production. That's a huge step. It's absolutely critical for gaining trust from battery manufacturers, from EV OEMs, and the fact they can produce this material at scale in Canada. That directly addresses the big push for North American content in the battery supply chain.
Right. That domestic supply chain angle is becoming increasingly important.
Exactly. Now, there are always execution challenges, right? Commissioning a new facility like this, managing costs, ensuring quality. It's not simple. But their vertically integrated model, plus this focus on commercial-ready solutions, puts HPQ in, I'd say, a pretty strong position. For investors, this really signals a company entering that high-growth commercialization phase and with strong backing. But yeah, keep an eye on execution.
Definitely one to watch on the execution front. Okay, let's shift gears. We're moving to the gold sector now. Scorpio Gold Corporation, that's TSX Venture. SGN just put out a significant update for their Nevada operations. Headline, Scorpio Gold unveils maiden resource at Nevada's Manhattan district, sets stage for a multi-year growth plan. This is a first for them, could be a really important baseline for growth.
Indeed. This is their very first modern mineral resource estimate for the Manhattan district in Nevada, which they own 100%. And the compelling result, the number everyone's looking at, is an initial 740,000 ounces of gold. Now, this is categorized as inferred, importantly. It's at an average grade of 1.26 grams per ton gold.
1.26 G at T. How does that stack up in Nevada?
Well, it's potentially quite good. That grade could be a differentiator there, where many open pit projects often operate at lower grades. This resource covers the Goldwedge and Manhattan Pit areas, based on about 18.3 million tons. And that's using a 0.3 grat cutoff, with the pit shells optimized at a pretty optimistic $2,500 per ounce gold price.
Okay, $2,500 gold. And it's inferred, you mentioned, so that means more drilling needed.
Absolutely. Inferred is the starting point on the confidence ladder. It needs more drilling to upgrade it to indicated or measured before you can really base economic studies on it. But what's also fascinating is some of the historical data they mentioned, like one standout interval of 12.22 grand gold over 70.1 meters. That kind of high-grade potential is exactly what they'll be testing with their ongoing drilling. It provides that quantifiable starting point.
Right, so a solid start, but hints of something richer. And here's where it gets really interesting. The company stresses this is just the beginning. Crucially, this estimate doesn't include any of their 2025 drill results. They've already done about 6,000 meters in 13 diamond holes, and they're adding an RC rig too, so they're actively drilling.
Shows they're moving quickly.
Yeah, CEO Zane Kalyan put it clearly. The maiden MRE represents the starting point. Scorpio Gold objective is to build a multi-million-ounce resource at a grade that sets it apart. And the VP of Exploration, Harrison Pokrant, called it a rewarding and necessary step, acknowledging that unrealized potential in those high-grade hits.
So what does this really mean for you, the investor? Well, this maiden resource creates that measurable baseline for growth. The grade, 1.26 greeny, as we said, is interesting for Nevada. Plus, they have valuable permits, water rights, existing infrastructure. That helps. That could significantly shorten timelines and lower the risk if they move towards development.
That infrastructure is a big plus.
It is. The challenge, of course, is it's all inferred right now.
Mm-hmm.
So more drilling is needed, no question. But with drilling active and a technical report on the way, the near-term focus is clear: expand and upgrade. It puts Manhattan firmly on the map for, let's say, grade-focused U.S. gold exposure.
Okay, clear path forward there. Now, turning to another critical resource, let's talk tungsten. Allied critical metals trading on the CSE under ACM. They're making some waves in Portugal. The headline: Allied critical metals expands Portugal tungsten target with long intercepts and new growth vectors. And this is happening just as tungsten prices are, well, really taking off.
Yeah, that market backdrop is incredibly compelling. You've got strong drill results meeting a hot market. Tungsten prices, as you said, hit a new high, $550 per metric ton unit, or MTU. That's up over 40% in just 4 months. And this metal is absolutely essential. Defense, aerospace, electronics, you need it.
So the timing is good. What about the drill results themselves?
They look highly compelling. The new hole, bore RC 1725, hit 100.0 meters, grading 0.21% telling US euros. That's tungsten trioxide, starting from just 52 meters down. And within that, you have higher grade sections, 32 meters at 0.33%, 14 meters at 0.52%, even 6 meters at 0.74%. Really nice grades there. Plus, an infill hole confirmed a high-grade corridor with 2 meters at 0.97% telling euros. And a step-out hole, bore RC 2225, hit 64 meters at 0.12% and opening up a whole new northern deep zone.
Wow, 100 meters. That's a long intercept. So what does this all mean geologically? Are they connecting the dots?
It looks like it. These results seem to extend the mineralization both west and north. It suggests a larger, better connected breccia body than they perhaps initially thought. And they're fully funded for more drilling, another 1,528 meters in Q4 this year. They're aiming for a maiden resource estimate, an MRE, later in 2025.
Okay, so news flow should continue. The CEO, Roy Bonnell, sounded quite positive, he said. These thick, continuous intervals materially expand the working envelope. We are increasingly convinced the system is bigger and better. And the COO, John Barros, stressed the strategic side. Borala represents a vital opportunity to strengthen secure, Western-aligned supply chains, especially noting Europe imports almost all its tungsten. General James Spider Marks also chimed in on the national security importance for NATO and the U.S.
That geopolitical angle is huge here. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you've got this combination of thick, median grade runs alongside these narrow, high-grade hits. That suggests potential for bulk mining. And with the EU aiming to source 10% of its critical minerals domestically by 2030, a project like this in stable Portugal could attract serious strategic interest.
Right, from governments or industry looking for secure supply.
Exactly. Now, resource definition is still ahead, and breccia systems, they can be complex geologically. But Allied's focus on gravity and magnetic processing, typically lower-cost methods, makes even those 0.2% or 0.3% bulk use grades potentially economic in bulk. For investors, this looks like a clear path to a modern, Western-aligned project in a really critical market.
A compelling story, especially with those tungsten prices. Okay, final stop today. Let's head to Quebec, Canada. Deuce Goldfields TSX venture. BGF announced some exciting results from their summer drilling. Headline: Deuce Goldfields confirms 4-kilometer gold trend in Quebec and uncovers new mineralized fault. This is about tracing that old placer gold, the stuff found in streams, back to its source in the bedrock.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is they've seemingly confirmed a gold-bearing structure along a pretty significant 4-kilometer trend. Plus, they've discovered what looks like an entirely new mineralized fault zone running parallel to it. The compelling results from their shallow drilling include grades up to 5.2 grams per ton, gold over half a meter.
5.2 Giron-2. Okay, shallow depth too.
Yes, quite shallow. That hit was in hole GR2502, which intersected 2.0 gram at gold over 4.0 meters, including that 5.2 gram at over 0.5 meter piece, starting at only 22 meters depth. And then there's the new fault zone they hit in hole GR2508. That cut 0.8 gram of gold over 9.5 meters, including a meter at 2.3 gram NE.
Okay, so confirming the main trend and finding a new one, their whole strategy is tracing the placer gold back to the source rock, right?
Exactly. Find where all that loose gold originally came from. These results are really promising for defining that lode-style source. The president and CEO, Patrick Levasseur, put it this way: the drilling confirms a major underexplored saddle reef structure that remains open both laterally and at depth, he added. The continuity of mineralization demonstrates strong potential for additional lode gold discoveries. So it's not just isolated hits. They seem to be building a coherent structural picture here. And it's open, lots of room to grow.
Saddle reef structure sounds promising. So for investors, what's the key takeaway here? It's still exploration stage.
Right, it is. But the story is really about increasing scale and target diversity now. You've got these high-grade shots near what they think is a fold axis. You've got broader, lower-grade envelopes that could build tonnage. And now, this brand-new gold-bearing fault running parallel. That mix improves the odds, statistically, of outlining something economic down the road.
And the shallow depths help too, I imagine.
Definitely. Could mean lower drilling and potentially lower development costs later on. That's always a positive. Of course, it's still early days. The next steps will be crucial. Tightening up the drill spacing, stepping out along that new fault. That will really determine how quickly this historic district might yield a modern, mineable lode discovery.
Lots of potential there. Okay, that wraps up our breaking news deep dive for today, September 11th, 2025. We hit HPQ Silicon Inc., TSX-V, HPQ OTC, QB, HPQ FF, and their battery materials funding. Scorpio Gold Corporation, TSX-V, SGN, unveiling that maiden resource in Nevada. Allied Critical Metals, CSE ACM, expanding their tungsten project in Portugal amidst rising prices. And Buse Goldfields, TSX-V, BGF, confirming that big gold trend in Quebec. Each company delivered results that could really be pivotal for their future growth.
Absolutely. What's really striking, I think, is how these individual announcements, when you look closely at the data, whether it's federal funding, significant gold ounces, high-grade tungsten, or confirming a multi-kilometer trend, they all reveal compelling points. It really raises an important question, doesn't it, in this flood of information we all face? How closely do you really scrutinize the why behind the headlines? What opportunities might you uncover by digging just that little bit deeper into what these results truly imply?
A great point to ponder. Remember, the details we've shared today are really designed to give you that head start, to arm you with the crucial facts so you can continue your own research, your own exploration. Until next time, stay well informed and stay curious.